What are you going to study? Internships, jobs, opportunities, fellowships, programs. Like, that's literally all I was hearing in my ears. And I'm just like I have no idea what I want to declare. And everyone else knew. And I was just like, I don't know. Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Destiny Arianna, and today I will be doing a very highly anticipated video, which is my recap of sophomore year. Okay, so before we get into this video, please remember to subscribe to my channel and click that bell so you can get notified whenever I post a video. As some of you guys may know, I just finished my sophomore year of college. So if you want to hear my reflections on what it was like for me and my experiences, stay tuned and keep watching. So I'm going to start off just telling you guys my reflections from this semester before I get into the entire year as a whole. Okay, so I'm just going to give y'all a rundown of the classes that I had this semester. I'll be looking down on my laptop again. So I took Holy Songs in a Strange Land, which is an Africana Studies and Music cross-listed class. I took The Molecules of Life, which is a biology, like basic bio, like no lab, like the science for non-science people. That's the class I took. I took a Dance and Africana Studies course. So it was called Afro Modern Technique 2. And then I took an Education and Africana Studies class called Education, Race, and Democracy. So in terms of my classes, bio was definitely the hardest for me. I wouldn't say content-wise, because it was still basic bio. I think that the reason why I didn't do as well as I wanted to in this class was just because my morale was just not there. Like, I already knew that I didn't like science. I already knew that I just wanted to get the class over with for my requirement. So that was all like a personal thing, which happens sometimes, but I just wish that I didn't let that get to me as much. Like, I wish that I just was like, you gotta take this class, like, just do your best in it, do what you gotta do, and get it over with. But I just sort of pushed it off to the side, and I started to get my stuff together to the point where it was too late to get my stuff together. You know what I mean? Like, when you start realizing, oh yeah, this is a class and I have grades and this counts, and realizing that I didn't have as many grades as my other classes, I'm just like, yo, we had a project that was maybe 40%, 30% of our grade. I was like, yo, I gotta get 100 on this. I did, which is pretty cool. But I have small quizzes and stuff that I wish that I worked harder on, because that would have helped increase my grade in the end. But just small things like that. I already knew this class was going to be something that was more difficult for me, but I wish that I took it more seriously, because I think that that definitely could have helped my grade out in the end. But now I know if it's something I don't want to do, I just gotta get over the fact that I don't want to do it and still put that effort in. So that's just a personal fault. I definitely don't think it had anything to do with the professor or the material. I think that was just definitely me and my own personal just figuring out that sometimes you just gotta suck it up and do things that you don't want to do, and that's still okay, but it's life, you know. The second class, okay, so I took a dance class, which was really fun. If you guys don't know, I'm a dancer, so I like to dance and all that good stuff. I'm also on the Obvious Hip Hop Dance team. Small plug for anyone looking at Bowdoin or in Bowdoin and wants to join, because you definitely should if you like dancing. But anyway, this dance class has nothing to do with the club, but I just had really so much fun. Just because it was taking African aesthetics and Afro-Caribbean aesthetics and putting it into modern dance. So I thought it was gonna be more modern, but it turned out to be more African dancing, which I also really liked a lot. It was really fun. I got a not daily workout, a good workout twice a week, and it was amazing. We got to perform at a show at the end of the semester, which is really cool. But I think the class is amazing. If you ever find yourself questioning if you should take a dance class at Bowdoin, I definitely recommend this class if she does it again. But I think it was just honestly one of the best times. I met amazing people. And it helped balance out my schedule in the sense where I really got to like still learn things. Like it was Africana crosses, so I learned things that are pretty cool about some of the traditions that happen and like how that happens in dance and movement and applying that to your body. So I think that was really cool for me to sort of like make that full circle connection with learning about traditions like in my regular classes, but then also incorporating them into dance and movement. So I think that was great. Definitely recommend a dance class at Bowdoin. You should do it. You know, it helps balance your schedule. You know, you just gotta go out your comfort zone a little bit, but it's one less class to worry about like writing papers or doing labs or like math or anything. My third class was Holy Songs in a Strange Land with my favorite professor, Professor Castleberry. I love her so much. This is my second class with her. It was a writing assistant class, which basically means that you get a writing assistant for the 2 papers that you write like throughout the semester. So when your class is a writing assistant class, you basically get I guess, well, for this class in particular, there were 2 major writing assignments, and you would turn the first draft in and then meet with like a writing assistant, get feedback on it, and then turn in the final draft after. So I thought this is my first experience like having a class like that at Bowdoin, and I thought it was really amazing because I got to get direct feedback on my writing, which is something that I'm really trying to work on, because like I thought I was a good writer, got to college, and it's like, yeah, I got like so much work to do as a writer. So I think that it was just really good to have that incorporated into the curriculum with getting like feedback, just because sometimes it's really hard to be clear and concise in your writing and really address all of your ideas in a way that is clear enough for other people to understand you. You know, I understand what I want to say, but other people might not. So I think it was really good for me to get that feedback that I needed. And I just really love the content of the class. It was just amazing. So I had a good time in there, and I think that it helped me grow a lot as a writer this year. So in the last class, my first education class at Bowdoin, this was Education, Race, and Democracy. Sadly, the teacher was a visiting professor. So I'm not sure if this class is ever going to be offered again, but it was really nice to have it. And, you know, speaking about race in education, because that's something that I feel like isn't talked enough about. So it was really cool to have that class and like read amazing readings and work on like a research project that was really cool. Like it was 50% of my grade, but it was like a group research project. Really dope. I got to work with amazing people. And like I think it was a pretty like laid back class. I think my classes this semester were definitely like okay. I'm content with my grades. But I just wanted to let you guys know that before I get into what I think is the burger of the video or the juicy part of the video, whatever you want to call it, is more so like my social reflections and realizations of my sophomore year. So sophomore year is definitely really big just because it's the year that you're declaring your major. So, you know, like for me, it was really difficult because in the beginning I had a whole like load of unnecessary stress of like, oh my gosh, what do I declare? Like, what do I do? Oh my God, I have no idea what I want to do. What do I minor in? Like, I just had no idea. And, you know, it's something that I really think is important to think about. But at the same time, I really had to realize like, your major is not supposed to put you like in a box. Like, yes, you have to meet requirements for your major and your minor, but it's not like binding. Like, yes, it's what you're gonna ultimately major in, but this doesn't mean that this is what you're gonna do with the rest of your life. So like once I got over that obstacle, like it may sound like a minor thing, but trust me when I tell you, like in the moment it felt like the biggest thing, the biggest problem. Like I was just like, oh my God, like I have no idea what I want to declare, and everyone else knew, and I was just like, I don't know. I have no idea. So yeah, like I just really had to get over it. Like once I did that, I think that it felt like a ginormous weight was lifted off of my shoulders. Like if you guys didn't know, I feel like I say this like all the time, but I'm an Africana Studies major and a visual arts minor. So I take a bunch of Africana. If you are like following my college journey, you guys can see I take a bunch of Africana Studies classes. And that's sort of what allowed me to like pick my major in a way. Like I love Africana Studies classes and I keep finding myself taking them, and I feel like that's where I grow the most, like as a writer, as a thinker, and like that's where my interest lies. So boom, there we go, I decided to major in it. You know, that's what some people like want to do. Sometimes you do majors according to what you either want to do in the future or what interests you. Like it's different for everyone, and it like really ultimately depends on you and like what you want to do with yourself. But once I realized that that's what I wanted to major in, it sort of like made sense. That means like I get to continue taking these classes that I love to take, and like the minor. So when you declare your major and minor, you get priority in classes. So like picking my classes for this upcoming semester, like my junior year fall, that sounds crazy, but I got priority in most of my classes. So almost every class that I'm taking refers to my major, and it's really amazing because now it's just like, in terms of grades, I feel like we're gonna start to increase, and it's gonna be great because I'm finally like doing stuff that I love to do. And you know, why wouldn't you want to be in classes that you love? Like I swear, like my entire life people are like, yeah, when you get to college, you just get to take classes that you want to take. And like I've had that experience, but I also haven't had that experience just because like I've been busting my butt really like taking my graduation requirement classes like my first 2 years. So my last 2 years I can sort of do now what I'm doing is like doing what I want to do and what I'm having fun doing. So like I recommend doing that for other people just because it's like you get to get your requirements out the way early, take them with upperclassmen and other people who are younger with you. So like it's like you'll have more of your friends in those classes and you guys won't separate into your own majors yet. So I think that it's pretty cool to take those requirement classes like before school gets really intense. But that's just me. Now I'm sort of like in a good spot because I'm basically done with my Africana major. I'm done with my graduation requirements, so now I just have to take classes to fulfill my credits. But in terms of all of that, like I'm looking pretty good in terms of you know, graduating on time and stuff like that. I think another thing that was really stressful for me about sophomore year was I feel like the status of being a sophomore, so like you were just a freshman, you know, you're not a newbie anymore, but then you're definitely not an upperclassman because you still like don't have any idea of what you're doing or where you're going, or like you're still learning the school. Like first week of my sophomore year, I was still trying to figure out where to go for class, and I was just asking people like socially, like, yo, where's this building, because I don't know where it is, and I know that I probably should, but I don't know. Stuff like that. Like I don't know, like I feel like you're expected to know things, but you're also expected to be figuring them out. And that could possibly be stressful. For me, it was sort of stressful because I felt like everyone around me knew what they were doing, and I was the one that was like left behind and didn't know what I was doing. So that definitely was like a lot of personal stress on me. But I think the most stressful thing for me was like figuring out what to do with your summer. Like a lot of people, when you're a sophomore, are like, what are you doing with your summer? Like, what are you doing with your summer? What are you like, where are you gonna go? What are you gonna study? Internships, jobs, opportunities, fellowships, programs. Like that's literally all I was hearing in my ears, and I'm just like, like at the time, like in January, people were like already applying for like internships and jobs and like hearing back, and I was just like, I'm like not doing anything. Like I have no opportunities like at the moment. Like I'm applying for the Melon program that I'm currently in. I'll get to that later. But excuse me, I was just like really, I was just stressed because sometimes I struggle with like comparison and comparing myself to other people. So it's like I saw that everyone else was like applying to internships, getting into internships, getting cool jobs, like getting into fellowships, all these amazing opportunities. And I was just sitting there like, yo, being a full-time college student is hard enough. Like I'm just trying to catch up with my grades and stuff. And people are like out here filling out pages and pages of like internship applications. And I'm just like, what? Like what's going on? Like it was just really stressful for me to try and balance like that outside life of like internships, opportunities, programs, and like school. So there became a time where I was definitely like unbalanced and prioritizing like applications over that. So as you guys know, if you watch my not my last video, but a couple videos back called What's Happening, I'll list that down in the description box if you guys want to watch that, just to catch up on what's going on with me currently. But the application process of Melon was something that I was really stressed out about, because it literally took me probably like 2.5 months to finish my application like in full. Like I struggled a lot with finding a mentor for the program, just because like with what I want to do with like Africana studies, visual arts, and like art history, there wasn't a lot of like representation and faculty of like people of color. So I just really struggled with trying to find that. I did, which is really cool, but it was a really like long and tedious process of me like continuously trying to convince people, sell my dream and sell my vision and do all that. So that definitely like took a lot of my stress, a lot of my time, and it was something that, you know, I was just like really stressed out about. Like I'd call my mom, I'd be crying. I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what I'm doing with myself. And like the program was something that allowed me to finally narrow down something that I might be interested in. And I think that that was stressing me out, because I was like, this program really might allow me to like figure out myself and like find myself and find what I want to do. And like if I didn't get it, like I felt like my dreams are going to be crushed. But I think that towards the end of the process, it definitely allowed me to change my mindset and realize like, even if you don't get it, it may be closing a door for an opportunity, but it's opening your mind to this new like profound idea that you want to consider. It's basically just opening the door for me to really, you know, try things out within like art education, or like art programs and just things like that, or like interning at like art museums. Like I always thought those things would be pretty cool, but like realizing that this is what I might be interested in opened the doors for other opportunities that I could look at in the future. So I think that process overall was just great for me to really like hit that wall of frustration, and then really like confront that problem and like realize that whatever happened, I was gaining knowledge about myself and like my future. So I think it can definitely like happen again. Like you can definitely still lose people after your sophomore year, but I do think that I've just realized that like I saw my friend group, what is the word, resize maybe, I don't know, but I definitely have seen the people who are really there for me become prominent in my life, and now that's where they stand. Like they know who they are. I love y'all so much. I definitely think that my sophomore year has been a year for growth. I feel like I put myself first this year a lot. That's been a learning experience for me, because I struggle with balance. You know, balancing myself and balancing others and relationships and school and just everything. Like I can never have everything together, because I just don't know how to do that. Like I don't know. So it's like sometimes I feel like I was putting myself first too much, and then I'm not spending enough time with my friends. Or sometimes just like I'm putting my friends first too much, and I'm like literally giving myself no time for me. So I'm like still sort of trying to figure out that balance. But I think looking back, like I was watching some of my YouTube videos from my freshman year, and it's really crazy just to like literally have all of this documented on YouTube of like me getting to college and then realizing like, yo, like I'm halfway done. And that's really crazy. Like I just moved in as a first year and just got to campus, and now I'm like entering that last half of like my college career, well, undergrad career actually. And it's just like, what is happening? Like this is like, people say that college goes fast, like it's flying by for no reason, and I'm just like, what's, like I really just don't get it. Like I got here, I moved in, I moved out, and now it's just like time's going so fast. I appreciate this year just because it's allowed me to realize what I love. It's allowed me to realize that it is necessary to take time for yourself and take care of yourself. It also has taught me a lot of responsibility. I also got to be a mentor to 4 amazing first year women, and they were just amazing people. And like being a mentor has really humbled me as well, just because I get to use my experiences, you know, my struggles, my triumphs, all those things, to just sort of invest into them, listen to them, and try to help them best with like transitioning into college. And I think that's something that I really love to do. That's the reason I'm a YouTuber. You know, I want to show people what my college experience is like and be completely raw, you know, really authentic, and just let people know the truth and share whatever I'm going through, whatever's on my mind, just really like anything. And if I inspire someone, you know, if I happen to answer anyone's questions or help just anyone, like that's something that I've always wanted to do, like give back to people and really like help them and make valuable connections. And that's something that I got to do through mentoring, and something that I've been doing for a while, you know, with YouTube. And I think this year was definitely really cool too, because the class of 2022 is actually the first class that of students who have like watched my videos in the past, and have like gotten to Bowdoin and like talked to me and been like you're the reason why like I'm going to Bowdoin. And that's crazy for me, and that was crazy for me like when it first started happening, because I'm just like, wow, like seeing the impact that I'm making, not because like that's ultimately all I want to do, but it's just me sharing my experience and touching other people, and that's what I want to do. And like it's happening, and like that's crazy for me. So like building those connections with people through YouTube and then seeing them at Bowdoin is something that I really, really appreciate and love, and I think it's great. And something I definitely like want to continue while I'm still here. I think sophomore year was definitely has molded me, and I think matured me in ways that I wouldn't have expected it to at all. Like I think there have been a lot of curveballs, a lot of fun times, you know. I had great, amazing times with my friends, but I'm grateful for the experience, and I'm grateful to share with you guys. Thank you so much for watching my journey. Yeah, so more content coming soon. I hope that you guys like this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.